For a while now, I've had the feeling like the model of the creative agency is totally broken, but I haven't been able to figure out what would a new model look like. Recently, I've found out an agency that did figure it out, and they're called Aj&Smart, based right here in Berlin. I arrived this morning to Berlin, Germany, courtesy of Aj&Smart, an agency that started out just like any design agency, but they've turned themselves into something completely new, an agency that focuses solely on design sprints. And I'm here because tomorrow and the next day they're actually having kind of a boot camp to teach other people how to run design sprints properly. And I'm super excited about this, but today I'm actually going to meet the guys and try to learn from them why they did this, how this is working out for them, and actually, should I be doing this myself? Thank
Hello,
you for
Ran.
having me. Yeah, now we are already.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, what's up?
What happened earlier?
Listen.
Question.
Listen.
Okay.
I want to know what you did. Like, okay, so we were talking before about how like the creative agency model is like broken. You were also mentioning like profit margins and stuff like that. Tell me what happened and kind of how you came into this like idea about only doing design sprint. But first, what wasn't working for you guys?
Okay, so when we started Aj&Smart, we started it essentially based on what every other agency was doing, the agency model. So we were hiring people, we were basically charging clients per man day, per hour on projects, the same way as we'd been doing as freelancers. So essentially we were just scaling up our freelancing to a bigger amount of people.
Which is basically what everybody does.
Which is what agencies do, right? And what you try to do then is you try to get clients on retainers, you try to make it somehow predictable in whatever way you can.
Feed the beast.
Yeah, exactly. You need to feed the beast, and it felt like this never-ending, I don't know, rat race of just doing the same thing over and over again. And at a certain point, my co-founder and I, we got sick of the always having to look at the cash flow, always having to like run after clients, trying to find ways to spread out the projects more and more. It felt like we were always pulling the numbers out of our asses when it came to projects. You know, we'd be like, oh, we need to work on this new app, and we would say, oh, okay, 100 UX days, 200 UI days, and 4 whatever. And then they would say, oh, we only have 20,000 euro, yeah. And we're saying, oh yeah, okay, then 5. and so I think it always felt random, it always felt wrong, but because everyone else was doing it, we kept doing it.
All right.
Eventually, I think it was 1.5 years ago, my co-founder and I, we were so sick of it, and we were on this one project that was really, really fucking pissing us off. And there was always like this thing where we would start a project, we would love it, and eventually, and we would have to hire some new people when we would get that project in, and then eventually it would get worse and worse and worse, and the tension would build up with the client, the misalignments would build up, you know, questioning, you know, did you use that many man days, and this and that, and we just really started to fucking hate that. So we decided to stop everything and start working in time blocks rather than in projects. So we would say, you can come to us for like a UX booster pack that lasts 2 weeks and costs 16,000 euro upfront, and that's it.
Okay. So kind of like productizing your services.
Exactly.
Okay.
Like I think every agency aspires to productizing their services or creating a product of their own. Creating a product of our own, we tried, and we never really,
it's not hard.
Yeah, it also doesn't fit necessarily with our personalities right now. But we managed to get to a point now where we essentially sell 1 or 2 week blocks of time. Well, we don't even call it time, right? We don't even tell the clients how many people are working on it. And we charge for those 1 or 2 week blocks, standard fixed rate. So the calls, which used to be, you know, clients used to say, hey, we have this thing and blah, 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 blah. And they had to do all the work to tell us what the brief was. Now they just call us up and we say, in 1 week, we can do this, 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 done. Do you want that or not? And they can say yes or no. And it's super simple.
You tell them.
We tell them what we can do, right? And we tell them, you don't have to write a brief. You can just come to our office, and the almost briefing period is built into the system.
Okay.
And the system we're using is a, let's say, edited version or a custom version of the design sprint.
So wait, for the people who have no clue, what is the design sprint?
The design sprint is
just like really narrow it down.
So
we're going to be talking about this for like the upcoming 2 days.
This is
like
the design
really
sprint book, which I did not write. It was written by Jake Knapp. This is a 5-day process for going from essentially a vague challenge to a high fidelity prototype tested by real users within 5 days. And because we were building the client version of that, we reduced it to 4 days and customized it to this new version of it. But essentially, it's a step-by-step system for validating new product ideas and designing products. And so we've been basically using a custom version of that for the last 2 years. We've run about 120 sprints. We don't work in any other way. We don't do any 3 or 4 month projects. Every project we do every week is almost a new company coming in the doors. It's easy to sell. We charge.
Wait. Let's talk about, like, first of all, I want to do this because I had first of all, I so much relate to your experience of like, you're so excited about the project, like working on it. The beginning is most fun, like you bring most value, you solve the problems, like the interesting problems. And then, okay, somebody has to do the execution. It's getting boring. It's
this builds up. And
not profitable. And if I could only do the first week, which is like the design sprint, that would be so great. But like I think most of my clients wouldn't even know about like asking for that. So how do you actually sell this?
So most clients don't ask for it. So they call it, like, I'll just give you an example. So I got an email last Wednesday which said, hey, we found you online or whatever, and we're looking for a company to do UX review, UI design and rebrand. And I always then follow up and say, okay, we don't actually do those services, but we should have a quick call because I think we can still help you. And then in the call, I tell them, essentially, you could do these things and spread them out over the entire 6 months the way you want to, or you could have us do 2 weeks of design, like a design sprint with you, define the entire product, do the product strategy, come up with the basic concept, the core concept, and test it with real users. So you plug into a product team for 2 weeks, and then you can take a junior designer to execute that yourself.
Exactly.
And I also make that, I say, with us, of course, you're paying a premium. You are absolutely paying a premium that you wouldn't pay if you brought in multiple freelancers, but you can save months of going around in circles trying to make decisions. And that's the way we sell it. And we always recommend that they then find their own people internally or externally to essentially finish it off.
Okay.
And we sometimes then have contracts where we'll come back maybe once a month to help them with the building of their product team. So awesome. We just don't offer the full thing. Well, okay, here's the way I put it actually. We do offer the full thing. We will do your product from zero to it's on the market, but it's so insanely expensive that it's not worth it. Okay. It's not economically viable to use us to do that. So we
and you don't want to like even hire like outsourcing and manage.
We're not going to do that no matter what. So we're going to use our best people on it. So we're going to charge that rate. So if a company wants to do us to do the assets, right? If a company wants us to literally lay out the assets for every single screen, we'll do it. But I'll make it clear to them that they're paying 10 times more than they would if they had a very good. We discourage it with money, right?
Yeah.
And it works.
It works.
Yeah, for the most part. Some clients still want us to do everything, and then I'm just saying, you're spending 200,000 euro more than you should be right now. But for them, that 200,000 euro saves them 9 months of trying to figure it out internally, and they want to get to the market faster. So there are these cases where those companies can say, yeah, the trade-off makes sense for us.
That's awesome. That's so cool. And then right now you've actually kind of created another business model to go along with it, which is like the educational part, like teaching people the design sprint methodology, which is actually why I'm here for the bootcamp that's tomorrow.
Cool. Yeah, so that's that was an accident. So that's I guess the byproduct of our actual business. Clients would come here, they would do the design sprint like is happening behind us right now, and they would say, shit, we need to work like this. We need this to be how we work at our company. And instead of us saying, well, you have to hire us again to do that, we say, oh, maybe we should actually start training people how to do it. So we teamed up with Jake Knapp, the guy who wrote the book, and we started doing essentially like touring around the world, training people to do it. And we run like 3 to 4 trainings per month, just helping people, whether it's a corporate training or a public training, helping them to use these systems.
Are you comfortable saying what you charge for a design sprint?
I can tell you a range.
Okay.
We charge more than 40K per week.
Okay.
Less than 80K per week.
Okay, that's awesome.
And how we do it, I mean, if you would add that up in terms of pure man days, it wouldn't add up, right?
Yeah.
It just doesn't. But we're basing that on the value that we think that our clients actually get from it,
of course,
our customers. We started off charging 6,000, then 8,000, then 22,000, then 28,000, then 32,000, all this year pretty much.
Oh wow, that's
so
crazy.
it ramped up very aggressively.
Amazing.
And how we found that price, which we've been stuck on now for probably like 4 months, was this seemed to be the price that didn't have too many bookings, like non-stop, like all the time, like 20 offers that we to play with, but rather it has people thinking about whether they should really do it.
Yeah.
And that's where I think people should be working at. A number where the person on the other side doesn't say, cool, let's go for it.
Yeah.
Where they say,
they understand that they have to take a commitment.
I need to take this
yeah.
seriously. Like we really do not want companies coming in here who just want a day out.
Yeah.
Although we want them to have fun, we want them to take it really seriously because we also take it very seriously. So that's where the number comes from. It's like, does this number command like also important people from that company to come here?
Yeah.
Because you never get the CEO to come to your company if you're charging 8,000 euro, right?
Yeah.
They don't care about 8,000. They care about like 70,000. They're like, okay, now that's expensive for, I don't know, whatever amount of days of work. So yeah, I mean, I forgot the question you asked me, so maybe I didn't answer it anymore.
No, you did.
Okay.
Awesome, John.
Yes.
I'm like super excited about tomorrow and the upcoming
me
days.
too.
I want to learn this and I want to start actually using it. All right, that is a very pink room. I don't know if you can see this, but everything is pink. So I just got to the hotel after a long day with the guys at Aj&Smart, and it was really great hearing from them how they do it, and I'm pretty excited for tomorrow to get started on the design sprint. So hope you guys have a great day. I'll catch you tomorrow.
Motherfucking flavor, what?